and welcome to Act 2, a podcast by Choosing Him Ministries with host Tecia James and myself, Andra Pape. Join us as we talk with others to learn more about moments when their own lives encountered an Act 2. Hello, and welcome to Act 2, a Choosing Him podcast. I'm Andra Pape. This is Tecia James, and we are so excited to see you this morning.
Good morning and welcome. We are excited to be here, and I know we're very excited, right?
Yeah.
But we're leading into Thanksgiving and the holidays, and that is something we just wanted to kind of pop on and do a short little episode about the holidays, as so many people are starting them without someone that they've loved. And this year, we're not post-COVID. Everybody keeps saying post-COVID. We're still in the middle of it.
Absolutely.
But this year, I think, can be a little more freeing than last year was.
Yes.
I think so, maybe.
I think
in some ways.
I mean, vaccines are helping tremendously.
Mm-hmm.
Boosters are out now. I think that is allowing families to get together in ways that we necessarily couldn't last year.
Right.
So
what did y'all do last year?
Okay, so last year looked very different from the years previous. We have huge, like, extended family, really big Thanksgiving get together. There's probably about 20 people, I would say, which for some people that's small, but for us that's big. And last year we obviously were not allowed to see. We just couldn't. I mean, not in good conscience see all of those people, and so we had it with our immediate family, like my parents, my sister and her family, and Ryan and our family. And so it was really small. I mean, we were inside, but this is taxing my brain. I want to say we socially distanced, like as far as not hugging. I mean, we definitely went through that phase of socially distancing and keeping apart. And this was before the vaccine. Mm-hmm. And so I want to say we probably didn't hug. We just kept our distance and ate separately. I know we ate inside, but we instantly went outside to my sister's back porch and sat around there. But yeah, I mean, Tecia was asking me a few minutes ago about this, and I was like, oh,
it was a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. My memory's not the greatest anyway. So, but yeah, so it was different. It was different. And it was sad. And like, I think I'm pretty sure I like wore pajama bottoms to Thanksgiving because I was like, I don't have to see anybody. I want to make sure that the turkey's going to fit. So I'm going to wear some pajama bottoms. And it's totally different from how we normally approached our holiday.
Did y'all make the full Thanksgiving spread last year?
Yeah, I think we still did. So traditionally speaking, we have certain dishes that we all are in charge of and we make regardless. So yes.
What's your specialty?
I don't have a specialty.
What do they stick you with?
Okay.
Do you bring the rolls?
Right. The napkins and the cups. That's what I bring. Napkins and cups. No, I make sweet potato casserole.
Okay.
That's one of my things. Green bean casserole.
Okay.
Like I'm in college.
How many ways can you pour in?
That's what, exactly. Like I'm in college and that's the only thing I can make. Just dump the ingredients, honey. You'll be fine. Gosh. And then I do make some pies, I think. That's pretty much it. I think my sister, okay, so for you guys who don't know me well, my sister is a foodie. That girl can cook like nobody's business, and she makes the best things and they all taste amazing. And she comes from a long line of it. My mom is the same way and I am not. So like,
I'm glad you clarified that she is a good cook when you called her a foodie and not that she's a lot of eater.
No, she just makes it well and she always makes it pretty. And both her and my mom are so like that. And I'm like a buffet girl. I leave it on the stove and I'm like, here, just scoop it up. Like you're fine. So
the presentation and everything.
Yes. Fun. And it always is so nice. So we knocked around the idea of maybe having Thanksgiving at my house this year. And my daughter threw a fit and was like, no, we have to have it at Aunt Leah's. It's so pretty. Yeah, exactly. No paper plates. Cause I'm so pragmatic about it. I'm like, oh y'all, we could use paper plates so we don't have to clean up dishes. And
here, yeah.
Anyway, so whatever, but they're super great at it. And I'm allowed to bring some dishes. So that's good.
So y'all will be at your sister's this year?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know. We're at my sister's with vaccinated people.
Okay.
So I think we are keeping the count to vaccinated and go from there.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
this is all a new learning curve.
It absolutely
It
is.
is.
And with y'all's heart issues that you all have, you have to be extra vigilant and
Yes.
extra
Well,
careful.
and we're realizing, I know there's so many people who are angry with the CDC saying, oh, well, I mean, they have no idea what they're doing. I'm like, yeah, they don't. This is a brand new disease. And so we have in the past followed CDC recommendations, and I followed the recommendations, caught COVID, went into heart failure. So I'm like, I understand that we are all learning this, even the CDC is. So
Yeah.
I don't even listen to their guidelines anymore as far as like mask mandates or anything. I just wear a mask everywhere. Try to keep my friend count to vaccinated people. And, when I see other vaccinated, the people who aren't vaccinated, because you can't not see those people. I have friends who are not vaccinated and I adore all of them. And so I just have to be just extra vigilant in those times.
And you're following your doctor's orders.
I am. I'm following my doctor's orders.
Ultimately, that's what you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, this Thanksgiving just definitely brings a new I don't know even how to say it, a new perspective to being together. Last year was very challenging for most people.
So what did you guys do?
We met with just my mom and my sisters, and we were outside and got to spend time together, and we really just hung out and enjoyed each other. And we were socially distanced, but we did the best we could, because we're used to being all of our families together, extended family, and we usually have like 35%.
Right.
And obviously that was not going to happen. So it was just a very intimate group. First time for my sisters and I and my mom and our families to just be together without the extended family.
Yeah.
And we missed them all greatly. But at the end of the day, we were all so thankful for the time that we had together, because we just haven't taken that time much. Well, not for a holiday like that. So anyway, it was really a blessing. And this year, I don't really know what we're going to do, because one of my early episodes, you hear me share that we lost my mom in January to COVID. And so we did everything right. We did everything that we were supposed to do to protect her. And but this year, I don't know. I mean, we're all trying to figure out another first, like so many people that are listening. You have a first coming up with Thanksgiving. And so that's one thing I keep trying to think about is, what is Thanksgiving about? And we can go back to it's an American holiday. Well, yes, it is. But for us Christians, it's a reminder not only of the blessings that we've been given here, but of what Jesus did for us on the cross.
Right.
And if we keep that perspective, then I can kind of shift from the focus of our loss to the blessings that we've been given. And I think that is so crucial for everybody, no matter what holiday is coming up, that's a first or a second or third. Sometimes that can be just as hard. There's not a magic thing about the first year being over. But as a Christian, we've been given so much. First and foremost, that Jesus died on the cross for us and has given us an opportunity to live in eternity with him. And that's just such a huge thing that I think sometimes we just forget the magnitude of that.
Absolutely.
And so we're focused on the things that we don't have, or we're focused on, our favorite dish that somebody better do it right, or we're going to stomp our feet and pitch a fit.
Right.
But that to me, that is the way that you get through the hard times, is that you have to choose to take your thoughts captive, to focus on the blessings that God has given you, and realize that there's a purpose for your time here. And are you going to do it well, or is your focus going to be about you? And that's hard. That's really easy just to regurgitate and say, be thankful.
Right.
But our Thanksgiving comes from, it's a matter of the heart. I want to read Psalm 145 to y'all. It is 145:18. And it speaks of this. It says, when the peace of Christ rules in our hearts, thanksgiving overflows. Even in the darkest of times, we can praise God for his love, his sovereignty, and his promise to be near us when we call. Thank you, Lord, for your peace that transcends understanding and your love that endures forever. And that's a paraphrase of that. But I think it speaks very clearly to something that we're all desiring, and that's
Mhm.
peace and that's joy in our lives and peace in this world in such a divisive time. And how do we get that?
Right, right.
And that's not a matter of diplomacy. It's not a matter of government. It's not a matter of whether we still have a virus here or not. How do we get peace and how do we find joy in our life? That's an overflow of our relationship with Christ.
It is.
That's joy that comes from being thankful and grateful for what he has done for us. And our focus is on him and not on us.
Right. And I think that, you know, we've talked about this in depth off camera about how these holidays that are coming up right now, are the major holidays, and a lot of people are facing these for the first time without loved ones, and a lot of people are facing these having been worse for the wear of
Yeah.
COVID, like depression, suicidal thoughts, a loss of a job. There are a lot of factors that right now COVID has created an immense need for Christ.
Mhm.
And how does that play out? How do you approach a holiday with a thankful heart when you're struggling
Right.
just to get out of bed in the morning? And so I mean, we have talked about this a lot.
Mhm.
I, I know personally speaking, I was telling you, we lost my grandfather when I was 7, and my grandmother and him, they were high school sweethearts. They were precious. He was 47 when he died, and my grandmother was just lost. And we created new traditions
Mhm.
that kind of encompassed uh, it encompassed our ability to minister to her, to kind of include her in areas that she spent the night at our house on Christmas Eve. I think she spent the night the day before Thanksgiving to
Mhm.
get ready the next morning. I mean, she just really started, spending more time with us, but it was a new tradition that we created to counteract the horribleness that
Right.
had
Right.
happened.
Yeah. I mean, that's great. I know when my mom lost her mom, her and her sister started, they had to make Thanksgiving food, they had to figure out how to make the dressing that my grandmother had always made,
Right.
which was not written down because
Of
she just
course.
knew how to do it.
Right.
But her and her sisters planned, like, I don't know, 2 days before Thanksgiving, and they would go to their house, and the three of them made all the food. And then they would put it in the refrigerator and cook it that morning. But it was just their day to be together.
Right.
And they wanted to do all the food, but it was just their day of being actually in my grandmother's kitchen, and they got to cook her food. And um, that it's just an opportunity to create new memories in a different way.
Exactly.
And
It is.
that's not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's not. I mean, it happens organically anyway
Mhm.
when, kids grow up, move out, get married, start their own families. It happens organically. But I do feel like sometimes it needs a little push. And, even like this year, I'm contemplating after COVID because we've just, watched so many of our friends and family struggle. I've struggled health wise. Like it's been so hard. I'm really thinking about starting like a thankful tree where,
Mm,
you do like every day you sit down with your family and write out, a little on a leaf, like what you're
love that.
thankful for. Because, sometimes when you are bombarded by so much awful and, social media is really great for some things, and it can really show you the underbelly of our human emotions. And I think right now we're seeing a lot of that. And so I just want to teach myself and my family,
Mhm.
hey, we're going to be thankful. And so I think looking for ways to be reminded of, yes, I may not have this or this, but this is what God has blessed me with.
Right.
And
I love that an idea of a tree. I think we might do that too.
yeah.
That's just and I've also heard people say, well, they every day they had like a bucket and they would take a piece of paper and write down what they're thankful for and put it in it. And then on Thanksgiving Day, you bring it out and you read it
Yes, that
to
would be
everybody
great.
to give you something on that day to say, this is what we're thankful for. These are the blessings that we
Yes.
have. So there's lots of different ways. I'm sure Pinterest has a million of
Oh,
them,
I'm sure.
but I love the idea of the intentionality that brings.
Exactly. Exactly. And you guys, I know we're recording this a little earlier because we want to make sure you guys have this edited and perfect by the time it comes to you. So you're going to be hearing this the Wednesday before Thanksgiving, correct?
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So some of these things may seem like, oh, I missed it. I can't do that, or I can't do this. That's okay. You can still write down what you're thankful for. You can still have that conversation with your family. Just tradition, set it up for next year. Go ahead and get it, and then do it maybe a couple of times before, and then have it in the pantry for next year.
Yeah, or we can do it every day, and it can be a part of our lives, things that we are thankful for, because that, I think as a Christian, that's something we need to kind of break out of the mold of, we celebrate Jesus on Christmas and Easter,
Right.
and we're thankful on Thanksgiving Day.
Right.
We've got to incorporate the character of who Christ was into our lives so that we live a thankful life.
Yes.
Thankful for his life, thankful for the sacrifice, thankful for the blessings and the gifts that he gives. And that actually, if we as Christians followed that, our Facebook feed might be a lot less nicer. Sorry, I'm going there with that one.
A lot what?
Nicer.
Yes, a lot
cleaner, nicer, more loving. So yeah, as Christians, I'm calling all of us out on that. Is that, instead of fighting people's differences, fighting against what people think differently than you. If we start sharing love and sharing what we're thankful for and the goodness and the faithfulness of God.
Yes.
It's really hard to focus on something different.
The negative when you're focused on your positive. I completely agree. I mean, I think that gratitude journals have become really hot and popular, and people really like them. I think that that's definitely great. And I feel like, I mean, if you're going to go there, I'll go there with you.
Go there with me.
I feel like on social media, I have started asking, because I'm redheaded. For those of you who are listening, I have red hair. My husband calls it a ginger snap when I sometimes get a little grouchy. But I'm quick-witted, and I can see something and I can make a comment on social media, and I feel like, oh, I just put them in their place. And I've really had to, over the past couple of years, step back and say, is this divisive? Like, I have to filter my words through, I mean, as cheesy as it sounds and as trite as it sounds, the WWJD, like, what would Jesus do? I literally have to say, would Jesus do this? If Jesus won't do this, I probably should put my phone down. I probably shouldn't text that, even though I feel like it's an excellent point. And I feel like someone's going to, see my side of the story if I just say this one thing, and that just doesn't work like that.
No, I don't know anybody has told me they've been saved because of something they read on Facebook.
Right?
Or even their perspective's been changed because of something they read.
I
haven't heard of anybody who said that.
No.
So.
I think honestly what changes people the most is loving others.
It's loving
the
greatest commandment. Love God and love others. So I guess that's our challenge to all of our listeners today.
Yeah.
As we move into Thanksgiving, be intentional, be thankful for what you have. Remember what you don't, but be grateful for the things that he has still placed here with us.
Yes.
Love God, love others, be kind to one another, and look out for people who are alone, who don't have anybody.
Right.
Reach out to them. You may not feel comfortable bringing them into your home at this time, but you sure can take them a plate.
Right.
And a card that says, we're thankful for you or something, but try to make it other focused versus self-focused.
Absolutely. I mean, I think so you guys have already heard Liz Melville speak on this podcast, and I think she does that every year. She puts it out on social media. Hey, if you don't have anywhere to go, I'm there. And so it's just so thankful for people like that who are walking out what it looks like to love people.
Sweet.
Because loving people is not always just, oh, that's okay.
Right.
Like,
put actions to
but
your
put
words.
actions, yes. And walk it out. So
Absolutely. So for listeners, we hope y'all have a wonderful day tomorrow. Eat lots of turkey,
yes.
lots of green bean casserole and
What's your
pumpkin,
favorite?
whatever.
What's your
My
favorite?
mom's dressing.
Oh, my mom's dressing is good too.
So, and I don't know how to make it.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm really praying hard over that we can figure out how to make it. I think my
Just,
sister.
okay, I was gonna say,
my
does
sister can.
anyone know? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a good cook, but I think my sister's got us covered on that one.
Okay.
But yeah, so guys, enjoy your Thanksgiving. No, we're
Absolutely.
thankful for you. Thank you for partnering with us in Act 2. And just as we get people's stories out there, we want to encourage you and walk beside you in life and let you know that you're not alone.
Nope.
So
Not
happy
alone.
Thanksgiving, everyone.
Love you guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.